We are now back in London and have had a surprisingly good night's sleep. Some spare time gave us the opportunity to contemplate the conversations we've been having and what common themes seem to be emerging from the diverse life journeys of the people we've been spending time with. But in many ways, it's the decisions and courage of our youth that will drive the change we need to avoid the crises we face. With this in mind, prepared to be blown away by the insights and determination of our next changemaker, Clover. She is a 22-year-old climate activist and an expert in eco-anxiety. Clover founded her own not-for-profit, Force of Nature, and leads a team of 10 to mobilise mindsets for climate action.
You know, if 7 in 10 people feel basically overwhelmed or confused about what is a correct green choice, because there is so much information, what is your advice?
I would say don't try to do it all at once. It's super complex, and better that you start with a single thing that you can really dive deep into and understand than trying to completely transform your life over. Kind of challenge this narrative of sustainability being about personal sacrifice. Like, I really strongly disagree with that. I think you have to find actions that make you feel good, that make you feel connected. It isn't just about responding to an emergency. It's really about how do we take this opportunity to create a world that is better for people, that is healthier, that makes us want to get up out of bed in the morning, right? So if more of us say, this is something I can wrap my hands around, this is something I can do, then the better.
I love that. I love that reframing the climate crisis as the biggest opportunity to reshape the world into something that's healthy for everybody and the planet.
For sure.
Yeah.
There is nothing more exciting than thinking, I can be part of this groundswell movement that completely changes the future that I'm inheriting. We've had the technology, resources, ingenuity to solve the climate crisis for decades. In fact, decades before I was born. For me, the most important thing that anyone can do, whether you're, in the classroom or in the boardroom, is to examine which of those stories are preventing you from stepping up in the face of this crisis and begin to think about how you can actively rewrite them through action.
What do you say to inspire younger people to make the changes that they do?
The first thing that I tell a young person who has voiced their eco-anxiety is, you're not alone. I feel all of those feelings. And in fact, you shouldn't try and run away from those feelings. They're a sign that we are awake to this crisis. And only when we tap into the power of those feelings are we going to have the courage to take action at the pace and scale required. What we need is a revolution in mindset.
So how do you invite people to change mindset?
True mindset shift happening is really through intergenerational exchange. Often when I ask business leaders, why are you in this room, talking to a 22-year-old about the climate crisis? It's not because they've read an IPCC report. It's not because they've been to COP, but because their kid has come home to them at the end of the day and asked, Mom, Dad, what are you doing about climate change? How do we create a space for anyone to engage, whether you're a cab driver or you're a school teacher or you're a business leader, and you don't have to be banner blazing in the street. You don't have to be a policymaker or whatever. You just have to look at, what is the problem that ignites a fire in my belly, and what are the unique skills or gifts or experiences that I have that I can show up to solve that problem, right? And the individual changes can be super important on a values basis. Like, I like being vegetarian because it makes me feel good and that's the thing I do, but I still use plastic. I'm still a really inconsistent environmentalist, but I'm not gonna let those inconsistencies deny me the right to having that seat at the table and actually saying this is much bigger than any one of us. This is about the decisions we're making at a much, much bigger scale.